There we go. My morning alarm goes off and I flail about uselessly for a while. So I remember that I decided to give the morning run another shot. Is this a recording? Yeah, it is. Okay. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health, after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. At least, that's what I kept telling myself. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Amy has apparently been here for some time. Looks like she's already woken up a good sweat. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway?
Oh, it's you! I'm surprised to see you again!
Why's that?
Well, not many people actually manage to come back for a second try.
She frowns, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought.
Like the rest of the track team, for instance. Still, it was only supposed to be only a voluntary basis, so it's not that big of a shock. And I guess it's pretty early in the morning.
A shrug, and suddenly it appears that she's forgotten what she's talking about. Frown disappears entirely and she seems to snap back into a previous training of thought.
So, come on then!
Nani stop.
You're here to run again, right?
Well, yeah.
So, come on!
I found myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track. Things seem to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I've seen to be struggling when Amy moves with an effortlessness that I find it's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know I should be patient, working towards it gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. Around the track and start a second lap. Amy seems to have grown patient, keeping pace with me and begin to pull away. This is what I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? And I'm gonna save it here because I'm not gonna do the Amy route, but when I do, it'll be for a next year or something like that for Valentines, or maybe my second run through. Depends on what you guys say. I'm gonna take it easy. Why not? I let Amy go with her own pace, and she doesn't show mercy, pulling half a lap ahead of me in an instant. I don't blame her. I mean, it's not as I'm really putting up any sort of real fight out there, isn't it? Instead, I'm just running at a steady pace, which is what I should be doing, right? There's no need to push my limits at this stage of the game. God, is this even worth it? As I finish the second lap, I break off again. It keeps going and almost seems to me that she's disappointed. Well, that's stupid. I don't have anything to improve her. Come think of it, I've got nothing to prove to myself either. I'm just fine the way I am. What? I'm not is a runner? Whoa. This is probably a bad idea. Maybe there's something else I can do instead of this. Getting up this early sucks anyways. There's gotta be some other way to keep healthy. Walking, maybe? Nice afternoon walks? Yeah, that sounds good! Running isn't for me. I wave to Amy and head back to my room. I'll think of something else later. Sorry, Amy, but your route is for a later day. Back in my room, the first thing I see is familiar rows of medication bottles lined up at the top of my dresser, and it makes me depressed as usual. It's annoying. I thought I was going to be okay. Then I made my peace with this thing and got rid of it. But I really did. I allowed myself to forget that I have a problem. Being here really reminds me of the reality, and try to fight things against it. It just hurts. Reflecting on it, it's only going to do so much. I've done this before for months. It seems like it's time to get over it. If I allow myself to forget that my life is definitely not going to be as long as those of others, I won't get anywhere. My life may be different from others, but it's a life in progress. That's how I rationalize it. I down the usual handle full of pills, trying to push the sudden dreary feeling out of my head. Then I prepare to head out to class early as usual. As I step on the hallway, I notice Kenji come around the hallway, still making his own way to the room with a large bag. He seemed past me soundlessly, like a ninja hiding in plain sight. I call out to them. Oi! He jumps out at the sound of my voice. Oh! Hey man, I didn't notice you there. I'm really tired. I think it's more like he didn't see me, but that's not the issue. Where have you been this early? Shopping? Nah, I wasn't shopping. Sometimes I have to visit the math teacher. Yeah, I figured it would be a good idea to find out what the next exam is, since he can't tell you in advance if you want. So then, what's in the bag? I thought I'd go shopping while I was outside. I need supplies to continue the fight against the vast feminist conspiracy. Okay. I thought you didn't go outside. I wear a hat now. I decided not to point out that he is not wearing a hat. An awkward silence settled between us, and then Kinji breaks it by pushing his door slowly, releasing a creaking sound in the air that only makes the moment cheer more awkward. He then sets back inside the room and then closes the door. I'm surprised you went out of your way to find out a test date. Trying to take advantage of an opportunity to study is pretty diligent. I never study. How? I just want to know when the next test day was. I'm still going to take it. Duh. I didn't know, so I know what day I can't afford to skip class. He usually sends out updates on that crap by phone, so I have to step out and check it up on it. And so, then why do you have to go out when you can get it on your phone? I don't carry a phone. What do you mean you don't carry a phone? You mean you just leave it at home? Nah, I don't use phones. I don't have a phone. Phones? I have no phones. Why don't you have a phone? How can you not have a phone? No phone at all? No phone? Ugh. I just don't like phones. Actually, I'm kind of scared of them. I don't know why. I just think it's just some kind of repressed trauma. But basically, when I hear a phone, I get nervous. It's my darkest secret. I have two theories on them. Either I have some fear of receiving some undefined, ominous, life-altering doom call, or it's beaten with a phone in the past. Being so badly I can't remember it. Being in the head, huh? Well, what else could I get beaten with a phone that would make me unable to remember it? The S? Unexpectedly logic. Well, I feel very depressed now. Sensing this conversation is more or less over, Kinji opens the door and prepares to head inside. Yeah, I'm going to sleep, dude. Have a good one. Class is going to start in like 20 minutes. I already did something today. Too tired to go to school. Hey, need some lip balm? I actually bought two because I thought the store had started selling individuals doubles. The batteries. batteries, so thanks, but no need. Whatever, man. Slipped into his lair, finally letting me go with the class. For a change, I'm not among the first ones to come in the morning. This guy said almost everyone seems to be here already. I recognize most of the class by the face now, though the names escape me still. The class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I have even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overly attentive. The first days I was pretty high-strung in class. Muto finished his lectures about electricity early, but continued with a pause about the festival. So, as you know, the festival's on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday. Please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fat food! Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. But what I mean is to the remainder of the sentence is buried beneath ring of the challenge bell, and everyone starts packing their things. Muto deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. It's crowded in the hallways, or as crowded as hallways in the school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. So, I'm going to make you a one-time only super special lunch offer. Amy's homemade lunch boxes and the privilege of enjoying them in private with two bombshell beauties. Her overly flirtatious sales pitch echoes in the hallway, a remarkable feat since it's full of paper. Amy strikes a very confident-looking pose as though in an attempt to one-up her own ridiculousness, puffing a very modest chest and making the V for victory sign with her own hands. Sounds delicious. What do I owe this honor of being invited?
You stood there looking real lost and sad, so I thought you could use some company.
That is probably the most depressing reason imaginable.
So how about it? You're probably real lonely and would eat that awful cafeteria food all alone, otherwise.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm kidding!
Sure, I'll have your lunch offer. With pleasure.
Let's go to the roof!
The roof? Why the roof?
Because that's where we eat lunch! If I don't get up there, then she'll probably wander off and then I just know she'll go hungry because she never packs a lunch for herself.
Who will?
Come with me!
Without answering my question or waiting for a response, she grabs me by the arm and drags me through the hallways. I attempt to make conversation on the way. Why do you have an extra lunch? Amy smiles guiltily.
Actually, it's yesterday's lunch. I've slipped in around at lunch and forgot to eat it.
Huh? How'd it? The stairway's roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door, complete with missing padlocks. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. Amy stood, shoves the door open, and steps beaming into the sunlight. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Amy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs.
Eek!
Hello?
Yipes! You scared me, Rin!
Wait, isn't she... Ara? Tokini? Hello? Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Amy looks curiously at me.
You two know each other?
I look confused at Amy. She's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Amy. Dot dot dots. The awkward silence lasts only a few seconds until Amy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off.
I invited Hisao for lunch if you know him. That's just better.
Oh. Does that mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch?
Neither. I have food for 3.
Nice thinking. They walk to the other end of the roof vaults. I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There's nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as in the other schools. A few run-down benches and tables are scattered around the edge, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. Small pebbles covered in roof tile beneath our feet. Peek through the chain link fence, take a look at the school grounds beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle, and at the cafeteria, a few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere, a watchdog barks at passbyers. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, small town feels strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. Hectic lifestyle of big metropolises seem so far away in front of you. No one has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or get the senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for a short year. Finding out about my illness and have to move away from home all came so suddenly I haven't had time to think of how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadows of the clock tower to the door, I feel warmth touch my back. The sun shines from perfectly clear cerulean sky. A cool breeze steps, sweeping over this rooftop makes me shiver, only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to, just a few weeks ago. Amy settles on a bench, with Ren in tow, and produces 1 big and 2 small lunchboxes from her bag.
Come on, Hisao! What What are you waiting for?
She is beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I seat myself on the corner of the bench to take a little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all three of us fit on it. Impressive view. Amy suppresses a giggle and places her lunchbox in front of Rin and hands another lunchbox to May.
Here you go. Lunch as promised.
Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks pretty good.
Thanks, I made it myself when I can.
Conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opened the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food in her mouth using only her fate. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's almost a reminder of the story of person I am. Oh goddamn, I'm tired. Oh, will I ever get used to the sights of such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does it just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emi turning into a lunch as if it has insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Emi looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding.
My morning runs always work up an appetite, which is great because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figures.
What would happen if you lose it? Would you become a man? I very nearly choked my lunch trying not to laugh.
It's a figure of speech.
Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this?
Talk like what?
Like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How did you meet? Rin seems content to let Emi answer this question.
Somewhere in the housing department, though, thought that we'd complement each other, so we were assigned rooms next to one another.
Complement each other?
Like shoes and a suit.
Ada? Emi giggles at my confusion.
Put us together and we've got all our limbs together. Limbs, get it?
Ah, so this ka.
So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that's what's that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along.
Ah, so this ka. Rin chooses this moment energetic. I have trouble with skirts. No, shirts. Right, that seems fairly obvious.
Really?
Kind of. This isn't helping, but at least Emi seems to find the whole thing funny. That, combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious, makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms, so putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm just going to stop talking right now. It saves me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspected meaning to be a sage matter. So this ka. The conversation dies as it turns my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Emi finishes her lunch and makes a contented noise.
Ah, that was good!
As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up.
I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry!
With a flourish, she reaches in her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color scheme, and keep a equally pink box with some kind of fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs a straw through the top of her box and begins a drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comments to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emi or Rin are the sort people think to us about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure.
So, Hisao, how'd you like it up here?
Huh? Ada? It's quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch, too. Amy grins 1,000-watt grins, pleased by my responses, I suppose.
No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here.
No lunch service? I don't know. Amy looks mock offended.
Trying to take advantage of my good nature? The nerve!
She giggles.
Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will just keep eating lunch all alone.
I'm suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Amy pouts. Kidding! I was just kidding. I'd love to eat up lunch here up again. Good location, and the company's okay, too. Amy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy to have accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now. Or at least acquaintances. Lunch bell rings, and Lillian returned downstairs.
Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again.
I wasn't that hungry.
If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away.
Rin shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. 3 of us head downstairs to get together. Afternoon classes pass. Once again, I find myself with a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library, return a couple of books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday. All the more evident from the almost total silence enveloped in the room. Oh! As I wrap the books I brought and turn to the shelf, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind. Quite startled from the beginning that as I hit the trolley next to her. Ah, sorry, Yuko. Didn't mean to startle you.
Oh, no. That's fine. It happens a lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you?
It's okay. I think I know what everything's is. Thanks anyways. I suppose I'll go grab another 2 while I'm here. There's not much to do. After reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wander down to the fiction section towards the back of the alley, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, like with the corner where Anako has been last time I was here. Not really expecting anything to come of it. Surprisingly though, she's there, still completing a fairly thick book. I decided against intruding on her like last time and get back to finding reading material. After an indiscernible amount of time spent pursuing the aisles, finally decided on a couple books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minute of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority has left. Presumably to their homes and dorms. I guess I need to buy supplies. Can't live off cafeteria food and eat up for my entire stay here. As I leave for the gates, I make a few loud stretches to try and stave off